Hi everyone, Nick here and welcome to another Gran Turismo Sport video. Today we're doing the third race in the 2018 off-season exhibition season 1 of the Nations Cup. We're only doing the Nations Cup today because I had other commitments, so the Manufacturers Series, as much as I love it, not happening today unfortunately, so it's just the Nations Cup. Today we're in the Group 2 cars, haven't driven in those for a while, and around the Red Bull ring, which we drove 2 rounds ago, so not all that exciting. But yeah, my first qualifying lap was ruined by some people who seemed to forget it was qualifying and decided to race instead and rammed me off at turn 3, causing my car to be damaged. Thanks for that. My second lap was a 123.7, which at this point was good enough for 4th, 1,000th ahead of 5th, that must be a bit gutted. But this lap already is 2 tenths up and we've only done 1 corner at that point, so that's really good. So got a good exit from turn 2. There's only about 9 corners on this circuit as well, so you know, already a fair percentage through it. Turn 3, not too bad. Used all of the track there, or as much as I normally do on the exit. Going through turn 4, could maybe have got turned in a little bit earlier, but again not too bad. We can slide or drift too much, and we're half a second up, so that is excellent. We're up to 6th as well, so every 10th is going to help here. So 2 corners to go. That's not too bad. Don't cut it. And then in the final corner, again, don't slide too much. Down to 7th. Can we improve on that? Yes, we can. With a 122.7 puts us back up to 3rd place. And that is where we stayed. So just over 8 tenths off of pole. But I think 3rd place, very, very happy with that. I'm not the best at this particular circuit and haven't driven any Group 2 cars for quite a long time. So to get that kind of result, I was very pleased with that and looking forward to getting, hopefully, a good result. Okay, let's get down to a grid and see which of the 3 Group 2 cars has actually been picked by most people. On pole we got the Lexus Rabrugri from Switzerland, Satrab from Poland in the Nissan in 2nd. 3rd place is me in the Nando's NSX. I'm available for sponsorship Nando's. Freed Mind is in the Nissan in 4th. 5th place we've got the Nissan Unbrun from Portugal. 6th is the Nissan Sen Alpha from France. See a bit of a theme here. 7th is Foxy Fergie in the Nissan. 8th is Project 038 in the Nissan from Spain. 9th is the Nissan of Cyril Rodrigo from France. 10th is Tim Gomez from Britain. You know what he's in. It's a Lexus, it's my Savoy, 11th from the UK. Back to the Nissans here, we're in Germany on 12th, Hernchen. 13th, Roadrunner, Lexus, UK. Nice that it's not a Nissan. Here's another Nissan. Lou Bear, 14th from the UK. It's a Honda, it's Log Swapper, and he's from Finland in 15th. 16th is Lexus Mighty Paulin from Spain. 17th is another Honda, Wahey Siku Kosi from Spain, and 18th is the Bouncer UK from the UK, unsurprisingly, and he is in a Lexus. So 18 runners, standing start as ever, or seemingly in this new season. And one thing I did remember to do this time was bump the traction control up a couple. So that would help me get a good getaway. What also helps getting a good getaway is actually responding to the lights, and I got a very, very slow reaction to that. So we dropped his pace down to 4th, but we know that there's going to be someone on the inside, unsurprisingly there, and we managed to keep 5th position. Now, we're already a bit wary that there's cars behind us. The gap's not massive, but it's not like someone's right in our slipstream, so we're hopeful we can keep 5th in here. And as we don't have a radar, it's a bit of a sort of nervous moment there, just thinking what's going to happen there. So hopefully I put the radar on as soon as possible on this kind of race where you know people are going to try and dive bomb you. Are likely to. Looks like Sen Alpha behind is driving reasonably fairly, so that's good. But so far we've not lost a huge amount of time to the cars ahead. They're all very bunched up, so we can still see the leader 3 seconds ahead of us, but that's recoverable. Could potentially catch the other cars to maybe make a podium. I mean, we finished 4th so far in both of our races in the Nations Cup, so it would make sense to try and aim for that again. But to be perfectly honest, at this point we're losing time to the cars ahead and losing time to Sen Alpha behind us in 6th. So we crossed the line to finish lap 1, and the guys up ahead are starting to get a bit bunched. So we'll see it after this next corner, but they do start getting a bit concertinaed, and you can see on the radar now in the bottom right corner, Sen Alpha is getting a good slipstream. He's now just under a 1/10 of a second, but he backs off, perhaps because he doesn't want to go for the dive bomb, perhaps because he doesn't want to get any damage or any penalties at this early stage in the race. But you can see up ahead, they're almost 4 abreast going down this straight into turn 3. So it's all getting a bit hectic, and I was at this point thinking, are they going to take each other out? Would have been really helpful for our race, but they actually seem to be driving quite fairly. Again, sort of 2 abreast through that turn 3. And they seem to be back in single file again now, but it's all getting a bit dicey. We're now less than 2 seconds off the lead, so it's kind of playing into our hands here. So I was thinking this could go alright, decent strategy, decent race, don't pick up any penalties, that kind of thing, and we could do something good here. You can see in the top right hand corner on the map, we've got Sen Alpha right behind us, but then the gap back to 7th is quite big, so it's us 6 up front really are the lead pack, and we're the ones pulling away from everyone behind. Now fast forward a few laps to lap 5, and you can see that Sen Alpha behind has closed in a bit. He's still less than a second behind us, and we get a pretty rubbish run out there. We also don't shift early enough as well, so we lose a lot of momentum. And you can see again, he's got the slipstream behind us, catching, but doesn't go for the move. Again, he hangs back a little bit. Again, maybe just playing the long game, maybe thinking he wants to get more alongside before making a move or going for an aggressive move up there. You can see that I'm not driving amazingly well, and I'm just losing time through some of these corners, and I'm basically holding Sen Alpha up. I think at this point he's faster than me. He gets a very good run there, thinks about going around the outside, and then tries to think about going up the inside here, and he goes for it, and I think his front end taps the back of my car. And I have to say that although I get the SR down arrow there, I'd say that out of all the corners on the track, that's probably the worst place to try and overtake someone. It's a fast corner. You've got lots of, big stops that are just absolute prime candidates to go up the inside. So, not sure why he decided to go for that. Maybe he just thought, I need to get on with this. He's not having much luck in the hairpins or sharp corners, so maybe go for a surprise up move up there, but didn't really work. But we're now just under 2 seconds behind the car ahead. We put out a bit of a gap on Sen Alpha there, so consolidating our 5th place. Now fast forward to lap 7, and people are now hitting because we're just over half distance. At this point I didn't feel like the tyres were that bad, and historically I have on other racing games fairly good ability to keep my tyres going. So I thought at this point let's give the no stopper a go. I know it's viable, and we're in third at this point, with Sen Alpha behind us. And then on the end of lap 8, Sen Alpha then decides to come in, which means that we can now actually finally see what our gap to the first one stopper is, Satrab behind us, and he's now 5.8 seconds behind us going through turn 1. So now it can start to become apparent what is the speed differential between me on the no stop on 8 and a bit lap old tyres and Satrab behind, who is on brand spanking new tyres. And you can see from the fact that I'm struggling now under traction and that I'm now just over 4.3 seconds. I've already lost 1.3 seconds, something like that, in basically a straight, a corner, and a bit more of a straight. It's just not great. So I'm thinking at this point, do I maybe change my strategy? Do I maybe abort this? Decide to come in for the tyres? Probably if I want to do that, I need to do that on this lap. But for some reason I decided, maybe they'll hold up a little bit. I'm not really going to fight the people who are coming through on the one stopper. It's just going to slow me down. And I didn't really feel like I was going to probably have the pace to actually regain those positions that I lost from stopping. So I figured, let's give it a go. You can see as across the line, we're 2 seconds ahead of Satrab. We were 5.8 seconds ahead at the start of the previous lap. So that's 3.8 seconds lost in that lap. And you can see that he's already less than a second behind me because he's just getting so much better traction out of the corners, accelerates so much better. I'm at this point getting very nervous about my ability to accelerate under traction, as well as having to brake a bit earlier as well, because I just don't have the grip in my car to actually, get the car stopped. So it's all going a bit wrong for me. We go in here and he's not even on the radar. He gets up alongside me there and just accelerates straight past me because he's just got so much more grip. And that is third place gone. I go a bit crappily in there, but yeah, we're now 5.7 seconds ahead of Freed Mind. A lap and a bit later, he's only 0.2 behind us. We're coming round to the last corner, and you'll just, again here, you'll just see the difference in traction. He just comes up behind, gets a little bit of a slipstream, and just blasts past me. He's got absolutely no problem, up the inside, brakes later than I can. Runs very wide. A lot of the other drivers are running wide there because the track limits let you do that. I didn't really want to do that because, it's just a bit, I don't want to say cheating because it's, using all of the track that you can use, but I didn't really fancy doing it. But now the real test of whether the one stopper is better than the no stopper, Sen Alpha, our rival from the first half of the race, is now 1.1 seconds behind us. He was a matter of tenths behind us, and while he probably was a little bit faster than us in general, if we can measure how we do compared to him after pit stops, that might give us a gauge of what the correct strategy is here. Because if he manages to beat us comfortably, I'd say that may mean the one stopper was the one for us to do. Maybe not for everyone, maybe other people can keep their tyres a bit better, but you can see bottom left, particularly that front left tyre, is bad. So Sen Alpha is now just a couple of tenths behind us, coming through here. We know what's going to happen down this straight. We get a pre-crep exit from that corner. Sen Alpha's got newer tyres, better traction, just basically no real way to stop him. He goes up the inside, and yeah, job done. We've got a gap of 7 seconds now to the bouncer behind us. Even with these absolutely shot tyres, I was fairly confident I could not lose 6 and a bit seconds to someone, but you never know, maybe they could just absolutely go off a cliff. It's happened before on other games, it might happen on here. We're also starting to look a little bit low on fuel as well. We've got 0.7 laps of fuel, and we're probably not that much further around the lap, so I think a couple of times we do decide to short shift just to make sure. We don't want to get into any issues on the line where we lose a place. We've lost a second or so. We're now less than 5 seconds ahead of bouncing behind. You can just see the sort of the level of grip is just terrible. The car just doesn't want to turn in, doesn't want to slow down, doesn't want to accelerate. It just doesn't. It doesn't want to do what it's being asked to do here. So, yeah, I didn't overly enjoy the last few laps of this just because it was just such a horrible car to handle with this lack of grip. So I think I would personally think I should have probably stopped. But yeah, there we crossed the line to finish 6th, 22 seconds off of the pace, but with a number 1 Honda. So that's good. So 6th place, good stuff, and the Nando's NSX looking glorious there. We get 570 points there, which is our highest score in this Nations Cup season, and our total of 1,651 manages to put us 39th in the UK at this point, 2nd in London, and I'm only 65 points off of being the best Gran Turismo Sport driver in London in this series. And yeah, okay, the guy ahead of me did that all in one race and I did it in 3, but you know, who cares? Anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, then don't forget to like the video or subscribe to the channel or to leave a comment. I'd love to know how you're doing in the Nations Cup if you're taking part. But until next time, goodbye.